Hello everyone. On this beautiful day, we greet you from the set of choices. You know, we are encouraged from the Word of God in 2 Peter chapter 1 to add to our faith goodness, temperance, patience. You can read it when you get the time. And it is said that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with the first step. We want to encourage you today as we continue our discussion on this journey of life. Let us add value to our lives. Let us examine ourselves and really allow God to help us because He is the giver of life. Join us. This is Choices.
This evening we would like to continue looking at the topic of life skills. We want to say from the inception that people are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, and it is therefore critical that we master certain skills so that we could be productive and we could be efficient as we live. Some of the skills we talked about last week included time management. We talked about the ability to think critically, which is so important in terms of how you treat with other people and your own self. We talked about negotiation, conflict management, and that too is another vital concept for us to master, because one could preserve one's own life by just being able to manage conflict and to engage in problem solving. We talked about manners, being decent, being orderly, management of finance. You can't be productive if you don't learn how to use your financial resources and use those resources carefully. So mastery of life skills will contribute to order in one's life, and by extension, order in society. We have to be cognizant of the fact that we have an enemy that wants to destroy us, and therefore we must be mindful that we continue to be on a pathway of learning, and more so learning and studying the Word of God. Because at the end of it all, what will really keep us in terms of order, in terms of decency, in terms of how we conduct ourselves, is the Word of God. Gentlemen.
We are really discussing a challenging topic, and we're trying to make it real. We're trying to make it relevant to our context in Guyana. Life. As an individual, I have come to the conclusion that notwithstanding our best efforts as humans, something is wrong with the way how we treat with life as individuals, as members in the community and the nation. Now, how could I make such a conclusion? I want to back up a bit and examine some words spoken by Jesus that John recorded in John 10:10. Listen, the acquisition of life skills and all of those things are vital, they're critical, they're very important. But I believe we need to go beyond these external things to the point where we understand as individuals and the people the broader picture. Jesus put this thing in context when he said, listen, in this world, the thief comes only to steal, to kill, and to destroy. So you have one reality, that there's a thief, and we know who he is, and we understand his mission, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. And Jesus then said, but I have come that they may have life. Now this is where we have challenges in our country. that they may have life and have it more abundantly, or the NIV says, and have it to the full. We have two options before us. I don't think the devil needs any help to steal, to kill, and to destroy. But we seem to be helping him a whole lot with his objectives because of how we are treating life, how we are destroying ourselves literally. We have a mantra in this country. Anything that goes wrong, we blame the government. We say the government should do this, the government should do that. I would like us to examine the way how we see life. If we value life, we will change your attitude, and you own a vehicle, or you own a truck, or you own a minibus. If you value life as an individual, that will immediately change the way how you use the public roads. If you value life, it will change the way how you deal with disappointments. Like if you value life and your wife leaves you, or your girlfriend, you value life. Therefore, your first option is not to hurt anybody or hurt yourself, but to find a path out of this. I believe we have a major problem with how we value life. And so the challenge is, as we discuss life, Jesus said, I have come. So we have an offering here that you, whoever you are, can have life and have it more abundantly.
You made reference, Bishop, to public transportation. You mentioned car, you mentioned bus. And I'm thinking about what is happening on a daily basis in our nation, the road carnage. I'm thinking about a person who is applying for a job as a public servant. And what is required of that person? A character reference or two, testimony of their qualifications. Is it too hard for us to ask our drivers to present some form of character reference, since they are dealing with the lives of people? Sometimes because of the interest, the economic, interests, all we think about is the returns, and we don't think about the life of our people. And so we have people coming after I would have invested, or you would have invested $4 million. And we put that vehicle in the hands of that person, not understanding their capabilities and their understanding of life. And then they wreck it. We have the loss of lives, and then,
You're probing something very powerful. I sat at Purica in a boat, an old board, one of those speedboats. The boat was packed with passengers. I smiled. Whoever the owner was, I thought, this is a profitable trip. Until I asked the captain, why you're not moving? You waiting on more passengers? He said, no, we just putting some engines on board. So they have this, the speedboat kind of operation, how it's built. And so there's a shed above the boat. And they brought an engine, an outboard engine, brand new, and they rested it on top of the shed. I became concerned because the boat went down a little bit more. It's filled with passengers. And then they brought a second one. At that point I said, I am getting out of this boat. I am going to catch another one. When I said that, and I took off the life jacket, which by the way, is just comfort for the passengers. I took it off and I start getting my bag and making my way. People start saying, if he going out, I going out. And it is only then that people started reacting. Then they moved the engines from off of the boat. And we made, the captain was watching me say, wow, how you do that? And I'm saying, because my life, your life is probably not valuable, but my life is valuable. I have a mission and my time is not yet. And I will not go down with your foolishness with no, you're already making profit and whatever you're doing. No, you want to kill us. So I think people who use public transportation, minibuses, boats, you have a voice. Stop the vehicle and get out if you feel threatened. We have to send a strong signal because of the carelessness that has become like normal. We have to, in order to get a change, we have to make an impact on the economics of the situation. Empty the vehicle, come out. And drivers and conductors perhaps may come to themselves. If we decide to become proactive, I mean, you join a bus not to go into a canal. If you want to do that, you'll join a boat. And then you suffer all kinds of injuries. I think that because we do not value life, we're watching our countrymen lose life and limb in the process.
You know, in my view, part of this, part of the whole notion of having no value for life, especially in this country, it goes to a simple word for me, reasonableness or to be rational. I mean, I have seen, up to this morning, I have seen a vehicle tinted, and so it is not just the windows, the rear screen. You could imagine that jet black, the windscreen, the front windscreen, and this man coming with a speed. And I have discovered that those vehicles cannot drive in the night, really. They have problems, serious problems, based upon the degree of how the tint is. They have to park at night. So is that rational? Is that reasonable for you to have a vehicle and you can only drive it in the day? The other thing is, you have all these programs that are saying speeding kills and so on, you know, and lots of teachings in terms of servicing vehicle and how you treat with your vehicle and so on. And nobody, you know, observe those things, but they want to make money. We have to ask ourselves, are we thinking rationally? I remember one time I was coming on the highway, and this is a highway, you don't have any, you know, vehicles are not in the way, so you know, you decide to come down on the accelerator. And I noticed the vehicle started to lift. Right? Like if I want to go airborne. And once I felt that, I came down, because in my head, I'm saying, you know what, you were on a death trip here now. Because anytime you could flip on it. So we have to have people again, you know, thinking, and we mentioned critically, and to be reasonable in terms of our approach and how we do things.
This is excellent. The reasonableness that you advance is an excellent observation. But let's add alcohol to that equation and immediately erase the whole question of reasonableness.
Yes.
Being rational. And I have seen drivers driving, offering a service to the public, one hand on the wheel, and I inquired, was it the man drinking? That's when I discover that beers and so on come with they come with different bottles. You know, when I was growing up, a beer used to be in a brown bottle, it seemed to be. But now you have, I thought it was a lemonade. Until I was told that that is not a lemonade, it's a beer. You gotta forgive me. The last time I drank a beer was when the beers were cups. So I can't remember. So I don't know the colors, but I was concerned that this driver had this thing that he was pumping every now and again. I thought it was a lemonade. So reasonableness is cancelled. Rationality is cancelled. And we are putting, not just adults, you know, an everyday fear for our school children. We need to find a way. Parents, we need to find a way to send a signal that we are tired of this, the way how, and we're not just talking about buses, but trucks. I use the East Bank pretty often. I don't know if they're on some kind of kamikaze course. I drive in the car now, wait until they pass. They're big. And when I look at the drivers, they are getting younger and younger. I don't know Well, a long time ago, only adults used to drive those big things, and so we have some major. I think life is in our homes. We have to start teaching again the value of life.
I agree with you, Bishop. And as I listen to the discussion, I get the impression that I still want to call it a skill. We have not been taught the value of life. I don't know if we somehow feel that we can do anything with our own life, and as a result of that, nobody else's life matters, and so we behave carelessly with life generally. As I ponder, I go right back to the home. I go right back to the family. I go back to the basic institution of instruction. I believe every child expects his or her parents to guide, to direct, to instruct, to bring value, to show what is important, to show how to treat with the things that are important. And one of those things that are important is life in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else doesn't matter if you don't have life.
Yeah.
I celebrate life, I celebrate health, because without those things, you can try everything else and you will not benefit. But it has to be taught. Somebody has to, you have to create a culture in the home, and then in the community, and then in the nation.
Many years ago, a 26-year-old young lady, very, very pretty, came to me for counseling. And she said in that counseling session, I want to say something to you. I am HIV positive. I was shocked by that disclosure, because honestly, she looked very, very good. And then she said to me, the reason why I have come to you, there is an 18-year-old young man who has been pursuing me for the last year. I like him. And, but I like him, and I don't want what happened to me happen to him. So I asked her, I hope you haven't lowered your guards. And she said, no, I'm responsible. I won't do that. I manage him. And I said to her, but you need to, if you're concerned, you need to share your status with this guy. And she said, I did. And this is what he told me. No, this is life we're talking about. He said to her, I have no problem with that. I believe in walking between the raindrops. No, this is what she's trying to save his life. And this is what this scientist said to her. He has the ability to walk between the raindrops.
Wow.
Now, this is the kind of young people out there, so many of you trying to walk between the raindrops. If you value your life, you will take care of yourself, and you will take care of others around you. It begins at that point somewhere inside of your head, where you understand that life is a wonderful privilege, is a gift given by our God and our Creator. And it comes with a time, it's time sensitive. We don't know, we're standing here, we don't know our expiry date, but we will expire someday.
Yeah.
I don't ask you to go and check. Nobody put a stamp on you to say when you will expire, but we will all expire. But during the time from the time we roll off the God's production line to that time when He knows we'll be recalled, we have to be responsible.
You know, many years ago, I'm coming from Tamiri with a bus, and the driver is doing all sorts of things on the road. So I stood at the back of the bus and says, "Excuse me, sir, this life is my own. I cannot put it in your hands to do what you like. If the people in the bus are late, put me out." So all the passengers in the bus says, "There's a madman at the back there." So the man slowed down when we reached the town, and then a young lady came up and said, when I was leaving the bus, I wanted to tell him that. So I said, when you want to tell you, when you're there? I'm saying that, you know, we have a voice, the passengers have a voice, and you cannot put your life in the hands of a driver who drives reckless to do what he wants with your life. Too many people are afraid to say anything because of the abuse of other passengers. I wasn't afraid that day because I knew if he crashed that bus, all of us would have died. So I got up and I said, you have the same opportunity or the same responsibility to get up and speak out regardless of who is in that bus, regardless of who will abuse you or what, because you might very well save the life of somebody else.
But we need to take this discussion also above and beyond just the use of the road, and we need to include who we associate ourselves with. A group of young people might be going for a night out someplace, having some time of kind of fun, and you observe that your friends are trying to live on the edge. You don't have to remain in that company. But we have to, you see, when folk go out there and they begin to operate that way, they pay pressure so strong on them. If they have at the back, you know, they went to Sunday school and they have at the back of their head, I have come that they might have life. Cut out while you still have life.
Yeah.
Or else you might be taken out of the equation and you don't even know how it happened. It's really amazing to watch how things are. The way how we hazard ourselves, for example. Most of us around here, this panel, probably don't even get 6 hours sleep a night. All right? And some of us have been doing this for a long time. And we're holding up pretty okay. In certain parts of the world, they really encourage people to sleep 9 hours minimum. Now I can hear people saying, me intend to sleep all them hours, you know, them kind of thing. In order to make it, you look at those societies, you see how people live very long. It's amazing to watch. Value. We have to value life all over again. Some in our discussion earlier on, when you go to join an airline as a passenger, we don't ask or we don't think, what is the pilot drunk? Because the regulatory authority, the people who control and who are responsible for putting him there, they would have done their due diligence to ensure that the pilots are sober and that they are ready to do that kind of work. We need to have that same kind of regulation, where once people have to deal with the public, that we find a system to verify that they're good to go for 2 hours, for 4 hours, for 8 hours. And if the people don't have that self-regulation, well, we'll have to put it outside to manage them, because we value life.
We bring a confrontation between life and economic resources or money. Everybody, most people are going after money and they're not valuing life like they should. But money cannot buy life. At the end of the day, you drink a beer, you drive fast, you hustle somebody, you kill somebody. You still have to deal with an accountability for what you did to that individual, whether you did it right or wrong. So we need to get to the place where we think about who we are giving account to at the end of the day. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today we're thinking, how am I going to treat with people? A businessman gives you his bus, his car, his motorcycle, his van, and you become responsible for taking care not only yourself, but that. But God has given us life. And we need to be sure that we take the life that God has given to us and be accountable for it every moment of the day. So be careful as to how we treat with people and things in this life.
I rejoice every day for being alive. And this one reason makes me rejoice. Because every day I have an opportunity to do better. To make today count even more than yesterday. It doesn't mean that I don't have challenges. It doesn't mean that I don't have difficulties. But once I'm alive, I have the chance of having things better.
This young fellow, 17 years old, I saw him in the context of a prison. He wasn't speaking, seemed to have been in a reflective mode for more than an hour plus. And so as I interacted with the prisoners, I made my way to him. So I asked him, how are you doing? And he said, not good. And I asked him, well, what has been your experience since you've been in here? He said, I don't know. So I asked a tough question. Why are you here? And he said, murder. This is 17 going to 18, murder. When I heard those dreaded words, that dreaded word, murder, I tried to figure, I mean, this guy looks so peaceful, you know. And then he said, sir, my life is over. I thought to myself, how old are you? 17, 18. And here he's saying, my life is over. How do you mean your life is over? He said, I'm not a bad young man. I never get involved in a fight, or I don't grow and behave bad. But my came to me and he's provoked me, and I tell him, by stop, you know, harsh playing, by stop. And he wouldn't stop. So I picked up this thing there, and when he run to me, I just make sure, and I hold it out like that. And he get bored. And he fall, this young man said, and he fall up there, calling my name. He says, so he's dead, he's dead. No, life. Society will bring him before the system, and he will have to explain what happened. A judge will rule. Jurors will come to some decision. But at the end of the day, a life is lost. But you know what frightens me? We're about to lose a second one. Life is valuable. In certain parts, in other parts of the world, there are people who value the life of animals, so that they will tell you that kind of statement. Do we value each other? When you join a minibus and you look at the driver, do you think he's concerned about you as a person? I don't know. But you must value your own life, whoever you are. This is Choices. Be blessed. We'll see you next week.
We thank you for joining us this evening. We want to remind you to join us for our special services at First Assembly. I'm Celicia on behalf of the set, reminding you that your whole life is the sum of your choices. God bless you.